guys, welcome to our blending lesson today. So the first thing we're going to do is review the sounds we've been working on, and then we'll go ahead and get to blending some words. Alright, so when I say the letter, you go ahead and say the sound. Alright, so A says what sound? Ah, like apple. C says what sound? K, like camel. D says what sound? D, like dolphin. F says what sound? Like fire. H says what sound? Like hippo. I says what sound? Like insect. M says what sound? Like map. N says what sound? Like nest. O says what sound? Like octopus. P says what sound? Like piano. R says what sound? Like rose. What does S say? S says like sun. And what does T say? T says like turtle. So the card we're going to be working on today is the short E sound. So what does E say? Like egg. Alright, so our first word, ed. Your turn. Ed. Ed. So E says and D says da. Let's blend. Ed. So you notice I capitalized this E because it's a name. Ed is a name. All right, next word. Red. Your turn. Red. So R says what? Thank you so much if you're participating. E says re. D says red. Next word. Fed. Your turn. Fed. What does F say? And E says fe. And D says da. Let's blend. Fed. So I notice already that all three of these words rhyme. They all have that same ending sound, that ED. All right, next word. Ted. Your turn. Ted. Ted. So Ted is also a name. So that is also going to be capitalized. We always have to use a capital letter when we're using a name. So T says what? Ta. And E makes what sound? And D says da. Let's blend. Ted. All right, let's go ahead and we'll read our line real quick. Ed. Red. Fed. Ted. Thank you so much. All right, next word. Met. Met. M says E says T says ta. Let's blend. Met. Next word. Mat. Mat. N say? Go ahead and shout it out. And A makes what sound? A. And T makes what sound? Ta. Let's blend. A. Ta. Mat. Next word. Pet. P. E. Ta. Pet. So P says pa. E says eh. T says ta. Pa. Eh. Ta. Pet. Next word. Pot. Your turn. Pa. Aw. Ta. Pot. P says pa. O says ah. T says ta. Let's blend. Pa, ah, ta, pot. All right, let's go ahead and read our line. Really go ahead and use those blending skills. Met, mat, pet, pot. All right, next word. Net. Your turn. Net. So here's N. N says what? Here's E. E says what? Eh. And here's T. T says what? Ta. Let's blend. Eh. Ta. Net. And next word. Not. Your turn. Not. Ah. Ta. Not. So here's the letter N. What does N say? And here's the letter O. What does O say? Ah. And the letter T. What does T say? Ta. Let's blend those sounds. Ah. Ta. Not. Next word. Men. 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 All right, first letter M. What does M say? E says eh. N says Let's blend. Eh. Men. All right, next word. Man. Your turn. Man. Man. So here's M. What does M say? And A. What does A say? Ah. And N. What does N say? Man. All right, let's go ahead and read our whole blending board. So really go ahead and use those blending skills. Please make sure you're participating and saying the sounds right along with me. Okay, so the word is ed, 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 red, ed, red, fed, ed, fed, ted, ed, ted, met, met, mat, at, mat, pet, pet, pot, pot, net, net, not, not, men, men, man, man. All right, let's go ahead and we'll do a sentence. So remember, this is one of our high frequency words. We cannot sound this word out. We just have to look at it and know that THE is what word? The. Thank you. So H, what does H say? And E, like egg, what does that say? Eh. H, he. And N says what? All right. He, hen. And then is. So is another high frequency word. We can't really sound it out. We just have to know that IS is what word? Is. And R says what? E says re. And D says duh. Let's blend. Duh. Red. All right, let's go ahead and read our sentence. The hen is red. Your turn. Wonderful. So our sentence begins with what kind of a letter? Always, always, always. A capital letter. Now, what is our sentence missing here? Go ahead and shout it out. It's missing a period. It's missing some punctuation. The hen is red. That's a full sentence. It tells a complete thought. So it must have a period at the end. One more sentence. Capital I, beginning of a sentence, and you always use a capital I when you're talking about yourself. And high frequency word like, can't sound it out, we just have to know that L-I-K-E is what word? Like. Another high frequency word. We can't sound it out, we just have to know that M-Y is what word? My. P says pa. E says pa, he. T says ta, pa, t, pet. C says ka. A says a. T says ta. Let's blend. Ka, a, t, cat. All right, let's go ahead and read our sentence. I like my pet cat. Your turn. Thank you. So what's our sentence missing here? What's our sentence missing? It's missing a period. It's missing punctuation to go at the end. So this is called a statement. So it just tells us something, and that's why it gets a period. All right, guys, thank you so much for your participation and really using those blending skills. I do appreciate it, and I do notice when we're all doing the right thing. So thank you so much. I'll see you later.